What's going on, everybody? Wow, this slate is a freaking mess. I'll tell you what I think that you have to do to win tonight, and it doesn't feel great. We're gonna have to eat a lot of chalk. So I think you have to play at least three Heat players from the Heat in most lineups. I think you can get away maybe with two if you get the right two and something else happens. But I think you're looking at a minimum of three Heat and probably want to play four in most lineups. You're looking at one Denver minimum, and I kind of prefer two, which immediately leaves you in a very weird situation. What do you do? So you could play four Heat and run back with Porzingis or Beal. I think that's reasonable. I think you could play four Heat anyway, but I think it's interesting if you do want to bet the game stays close. You could play the Heat that are going to get projected a little lower minutes wise. I think that's Orlando Robinson, Hayward Highsmith. They're still going to have ownership, Hayward Highsmith, but that's you play the blowout possibility. That's another thing you could do. I think you're looking at three Heat minimum, one Denver minimum, and I actually like one of Phoenix at least. I like Booker, Payne, Bridges, and Ayton, and I'm considering all those guys. So here comes Sheets right now, and Sheets, we got a mess here.
Yeah, we have no basketball players for the Miami Heat.
Yeah, it's a weird one, man. I think I don't know if you can get away with playing less than three of them. I really don't. They're going to have to dress somebody who's not going to play, like Haslam or Vincent or Adebayo, but they're not going to play. So you have seven bodies, which we haven't seen in an NBA game since they made the rule. So basically, since DFS has existed, I don't think there's been seven players on a team ever.
Well,
So
let's talk about like who those guys are, right? All right. So
I almost
there's
don't even know if it matters much.
Kyle Lowry. I'm just like reading the names. So there's Kyle Lowry, Max Strus, O. Robinson, Drew Smith.
Drew Smith. I don't know what that is.
He's in the DraftKings lineup. I don't know. He's in DraftKings. I mean, these are the choices you have. Okay.
I don't even know that he's on. He's in.
I know. Okay, I'm just reading names. H. Highsmith. U. Haslam. All right. So now, guys that might actually play: Caleb Martin, N. Novich, Jamal Cain. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Drew Smith is not on the Heat anymore.
Okay. So the guys. Hold on. Wait. This is the way we have to do this. So the guy you said there were seven guys. So there's seven guys that we have to choose from, and those are Lowry, Struss, Martin, Jovic, Cain, Robinson, and then I have Highsmith as the seventh.
Yep.
Okay. Right. So there are seven guys. I actually think that you can play five of them. I've seen this before also, and there's the math is just brutal. You know what I mean? Like to fade this, it's just impossible. There's just 240 minutes to be spread among these guys. Now, I mean, you could try to like make a case that, well, the centers are going to be obviously split. No, it's just not going to. They're just going to try to get through the game. You know what I mean? There's seven guys. This is like an AAU game where I bring seven guys, and then after a certain amount of minutes, I take two guys. You know what I mean? I take two guys out. Then at some more minutes, I take two guys out. Everybody's going to play literally a billion minutes. They don't want it. Listen, Kyle Lowry's 100 years old. They're not going to have him play 48 minutes. You know what I mean? So all these guys are going to play like 40 minutes, or 37, 38 minutes.
I think if the game's close, Kyle Lowry will play the most minutes of any of them.
I'm not saying not the most, but first of all, I mean, the reality is this isn't going to be close, right? I mean, how you can't.
I don't know.
You have seven guys, of whom like one of them is like an actual starter in the NBA. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just going to get waxed, right? I mean, like. But there's got to be seven. What's the spread? 15?
It's like 7. It went down.
No way.
Yeah, it dropped.
Oh, give me a break.
It may have jumped back up now, but it was 7, and then now it's 7.5.
Okay. Well, first things first. I'm going to the to the NBA Sportsbook for openers.
Okay.
When I come back, we'll talk about this because this is ridiculous.
It is bizarre.
Kyle Lowry and six subs against an actual basketball team. No thanks. Okay.
Well, Struss and Martin are actually really good players, and Jovic is going to be good. So I don't think I think they can hang in there for at least a half. If I were Washington, I mean, all you do is push the hell out of the ball.
Exactly.
You just press like crazy and rush it up court no matter what, make or miss on the other side. The Heat will play slow. So of those guys, this is probably the least I've known. It's not that I don't know what to do. I know what the right thing is to do is that you rotate. You're playing all 7 of them. You play a game. You play the game flow aspect. If you do believe in the blowout, you play Robinson, Highsmith, and probably still need at least Kane, and that would be the minimum of 3. I really think that it's the minimum of 3. The more I look at it,
I actually think I really do think it's a minimum of 4.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I mean that makes a lot of sense. You're right. It's the minutes thing. Unless something happens where we hear in the next 54 minutes or whatever that somehow somebody else, and you're going to hear somebody's dressing because you're not allowed to play.
Well, I do see Bam is only questionable in the.
They announced that he won't play tonight, but it doesn't mean he won't dress.
They announced he won't play, and then he'll play 30 minutes.
Maybe. Maybe. Tell you what, I just, oh my God, and even ranking them is hard. Like,
I don't think you need to rank them. I'm telling you, I think they're all equal. I really do.
I feel that way too.
You play 5 of them, and then you play Embiid and Jokic or something like that, or Embiid and Curry, or you pick your 2 favorite studs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's, and then.
Yeah, and I have no problem. I usually wouldn't say this on a big slate, but I would have no problem leaving a little bit of money on the table today. It's going to be hard for you to do to spend up in certain.
You want someone that might be low owned? Try maybe Anthony Davis.
Well, I mean, you've got the SGA and versus Morant.
You could do that like easily. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, Booker. I have SGA, Morant, and Booker all in my first build. And I think that's a really good way to go. And that's what I'm probably going to do. And the truth is, you kind of, in my opinion, like on top of that, I kind of think you have to play one of the Denver players. I really think that you have to play one of Bones Highland or Michael Porter Jr. And oddly enough, I'll throw the really weird one out, which the value gets all messed up on this slate, but there's no way anybody's playing Jeff Green. But I'm just trying to figure out if the Denver's going to score points, which they always do, who the hell is going to score points for this team?
And they always score points. Oh no, who's playing the Knicks? Golden State.
Yeah. This is giving me a headache, man. And I will definitely have to get out here at 6:30 to try to get my builds done.
And the other thing I would say, I wouldn't pay the slightest bit of mind to who's starting.
I agree completely with that. Bam has been officially ruled out. There's another update, so it's not just, and we know that they're playing the game because we had the coach say we have enough guys to play.
What is it? Seven
what
guys?
They can do is they can put a jersey, because he's really being paid as a coach anyway. They can put a jersey on Udonis Haslem and just not play him.
Right.
I mean, this is crazy. Of these guys, I guess if it's worth talking a little bit about who might have some talent basketball wise, I think Orlando Robinson is probably the most heralded of the 3Kers other than Jovic. But it really almost,
if you say so.
Yeah, I mean, at least he's a guy who was like, he went undrafted, but none of these other guys. Jamal Cain wasn't drafted, neither was Highsmith, and they're a little older, so it's like the devil you don't know. But he's actually had a little bit of hype about him when he was in college. But I don't know, man. This is a really messy one. And the other thing you can do is if you do play 5 of them, I think that you can definitely run back Kristaps or Bradley Beal and hope the game stays close, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you can play Bradley, and even if, and not only that, but even if it blows out, I mean, it's going to be because Beal and Kristaps smash.
Yeah. I mean, and even maybe further fetched, maybe, but maybe throw Kuzma in the mix.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him. Why not?
But I sort of like the idea of, okay, so let's say you're taking 3 or 4. So let's say it's 4. I do think that you're playing Bones, and I don't know what's going on with the projections today. And because he has a bad game, we're going to assume that Michael Porter Jr. just sucks.
Yeah, that's a terrible
I agree,
projection.
and I am going to be all over Michael Porter Jr. So that's one thing I can do to get different.
I don't know if I'll be able to do it. Like,
well, if you play 5 deep in him,
like if you play, what I'm saying is you play Michael Porter Jr., just make sure that you play like Embiid. You know what I mean? Like before you play Michael Porter
yeah, I'm
Jr.
not saying leave 5K on the table. I'm saying playing him instead of Bones Highland is a totally viable route, and I think you could play both of them with 4 from them, and then you play the 2 studs you like the most. You know, what also makes it a little tricky on DraftKings is the position eligibility. You've only got 1 guard eligible player for the Heat, so the forward.
That's it. Well, that's interesting then. That's
so any forward that you were thinking is going to have some ownership is going to have none, which is another reason why Michael Porter Jr. won't have ownership.
That's
so
true.
There's a lot going into this one. The weirdest part about Michael Porter Jr., I just want to throw out why I like this play. Like, he has a chance. I know this sounds like nuts based on his last couple or 2 of his last 3 games. Like, he could be the highest scoring player on the slate. I know it sounds weird, but he could score 60 fantasy points. We've seen it before. We've seen it when Jokic plays that he scores 60 fantasy points. I think I'm going to marry myself a little bit to that play. But the problem is I like Bones a lot too. And then I SGA Morant.
So play them both.
Yeah, you also have a possibility of Jalen Green who's going to end up, I think, being popular because he's a guard eligible player. And if there's no Kevin Porter Jr., which is he's questionable with his back, then Jalen Green becomes a kind of a smash play too at 6,500. Those are the 6K-ish guys. In terms of overall fantasy points, you should be so you can sort by the total points and not worry about the money because you can do whatever you want for value, right?
That's correct.
So that's like Luka's 12-7 price all of a sudden is actually kind of appealing. Like
it's like he's not. It's like
exactly right. And I think people are going to end up there more than they're currently being projected. But I'll tell you what,
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna have some fun. So let me I just finished running the new projections, and for the first time, I want to run like 150 lineups just to see what it looks like, and just to see what we'd be getting to. So let me just make sure this looks right, and then I'll upload it to the site, and then I'll run this because I'm curious to see the impact of what you said about the guard. What did I do here? Oh, sorry, about the guard eligibility thing.
Yeah.
I wonder how that impacted.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. You're going to get the guards a lot. I'm so good with the Luka. Look, you play Luka, Embiid, Porter, and then you play 4 or 5 of the guys from Miami.
Luka, Embiid, Porter. Yeah. I don't think that's even going to be any. I don't think it's going to be particularly unique. Except for the other one. Except for the I don't think Porter's going to end up being owned. I don't.
Agree. And the guys who will get owned, I think a bunch are going to be Ja, Steph. I mean, not a bunch, but a good amount. Ja, Steph, Shea. I think you'll see Embiid.
And Booker will have to get owned.
I don't think so.
Well, let's see. Is Paul's
out as of right now? I think Booker's going to end up in like the maybe the teenish. He just hasn't. He doesn't seem to get the same thing. And you got 500 more for Shea, who sort of is like the darling of the league right now. You've got Tyrese Halliburton at the same price, who's actually projecting better than Booker.
So we have with the big projection at 10x is Jamal Cain.
Yeah, I'll do it, man. I'm in.
The Jamal Cain.
I really liked some builds I had too, and I just have to sort of throw them away now.
Wait, why am I missing? So I'm missing one Miami guy. 1, 2, 3, 4. I only have 6.
Highsmith?
Damn it.
Robinson?
I don't know. Hold on. What am I missing? Yep. Yeah, where's my Robinson projection? Okay, one place doesn't have him, I guess. Let me just see this.
I think Robinson ends at the lowest owned for what it's worth.
Is he like a junior or something? Let me just see something. If he's a junior, then he might not show up. I have to look.
I don't
at
believe
that.
he is.
What's his name? What's his first name? Orlando?
Orlando Robinson.
Let's see. Orlando. Yeah, I don't have him here. Wait, no, there's no Orlando Robinson, but for whatever reason, hold on, this one place doesn't have him, which is a little annoying. It's one Orlando Robinson. All right, so I have to fix that. You know what? You suck. I'm not going to say who it is, but one place really sucks. How do you just not have him?
Figure out the last piece for yourself. I just gave you an idea of a build. There was no last guy. I didn't name a whole lineup that I was playing. I named the 3 guys, and then you can play 5 Miami guys or 4 Miami guys and 1 other guy. I wasn't trying to actually construct a whole lineup, but I don't think that's really not a good way. I show my early builds not so people can copy them, so they can see where I'm going, and then they hear the show and they know my process and everything like that. But I'm not trying to give away. We're not selling lineups here.
That's what we'll do. We'll do it another way. No, definitely not doing that. But
okay, so in terms of other guys who I like the Jalen Green Halliburton 1v1 going against each other, SGA Morant. I still like Steph and I like Clay. Unfortunately, I think Clay has to just be out for me now. And then you get one of the Suns, Booker, Payne, and I think Bridges is out of play now because of the forward eligibility thing. And I would rather play Porter than Bridges. And then okay. Get some love here because it's a good, it's a good spot for them. But we know DeAndre Ayton is feels like a ridiculous play to make on this slate.
I think that's probably safe to say.
There was a matchup though, man. Go against Kelly Olynyk. Seems like a pretty good situation.
Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to build 150 lineups, and I will see. I was about to ask who you think is going to be the most highly owned, which is kind of a ridiculous. I mean, well, we'll see. I wonder who is going to be the least owned of the guys we talked about. So right now,
it's going to be Robinson.
If I built 150 lineups, I added a Robinson lineup. Well, first of all, I'm getting 5, 6. Ooh, there's one Miami guy. That's the odd man out here. Hold on, who's not getting as much as the others, and that is exposure 59, 74, 99, 58. So the guy who's the odd man looking out right now would be Highsmith. He'd be the guy I'd be only getting 12% of. Out of 150. Like right now, I mean, it would be literally 99% Jamal Cain, 93% Jovic, 74% Orlando Robinson, 59% Lowry, okay? And then down to 58% Caleb Martin. And then obviously the next highest owned is Bones Highland. And then, not surprisingly, right, now that all the value is gone, the next 3 highest owned, Curry, Doncic, Embiid.
Yep, that's what happens.
And then the once and aforementioned and maybe forgotten Klay Thompson.
Yeah, I'm wondering where his ownership ends up on this slate.
I got him 20. Then
there's Morant. That allows the most threes in the NBA, and a guy who puts up 6x every day without hitting anything.
And then there's Morant, Booker, Halliburton, like those kinds of guys.
Yeah.
Now, if and the types of I guess stacks. Of the 150 lineups, 87 of them have 4 Heat, 24 have 25. I'm sorry, 87, 93, 94 of them have 4 Heat, 25 of them have 5, and then 22, 20, 31, and 31 have 3. So like all have 3 or more. And most of them have 4, and just as many have 5 as 3.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. You know what I mean? Like that's
yep.
Don't be afraid of doing it.
I agree.
It's interesting. The other thing that's kind of interesting is that it's actually filling out the salary most of the time, which is a little surprising, actually. It's got some that's leaving money on the table, but not as many as I would have thought. So if that's the case, I mean, if you want to intentionally leave money on the table, you could try that.
That's something I think is that we should be open to. I also think that Giannis is going to be lower owned.
Yeah, it's true. I didn't even get to Giannis, I don't think.
Yeah, because his price and Jrue Holiday coming back and the projections don't like him. Like he's projected fantasy point wise, probably a stupid projection. But his fantasy point projection tonight is below Tatum. It's below. I mean, where is Giannis? He's 6th in total fantasy points, just raw points.
That's like never the case.
7th, by the way, actually. Oh no, 6. But he's basically right there with Shea. Like your projections have him a little bit better, which I agree with. They have him as 3rd, which sounds about right to me.
4 or 5. 3.
Kevin Porter Jr. is out.
For Houston,
Jalen Green, I guess, and Halliburton become a popular duo now.
Well, what's his name becomes better projected, and Halliburton becomes better as far as pairing goes.
Exactly, and I think that is a very viable route. Okay, so I'm gonna have to rebuild everything. Guys I really liked early in the day, like Josh Giddey, Klay Thompson. I even talked myself into a little bit of DeAndre Jordan, which is just totally unnecessary now. Campaign, I guess, is kind of Campaign. I don't expect to get ownership. Maybe that's something you could do because he's like almost like I think he would get more ownership if he was like 7K than or 7,500 rather than 68. Like it's weird. Because people are, and as you should in basketball, you want to generally spend your salary, but you really don't need to tonight. And maybe that's what you do. Right. Maybe you play Luka in your Embiid lineups. I'm sorry, play Giannis in your Embiid lineups. 5% of games go into overtime. That game should stay close. You never know, Not to mention if it's close down the stretch, you're going to get a lot of Giannis.
Yeah.
I am sort of shocked. Did you go to the sports book by any chance?
Yeah.
Still 7.5 or 8?
Yeah, I bet it.
Oh my God. I can't even understand it. I'm going to go against you though. I'm going to pull the sheets here and do the
Sounds good to me.
Miami's a lock.
Sounds good to me.
If Miami wins, we'll tell you what, you're going to win more than I do because you're going to have more 5-man lineups with Miami than I do. And if Miami wins that game, you kind of need to have 5 of them, right?
I don't even think it matters whether they win or lose. It's the same minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty nutty. I mean, it's the same minutes.
And don't forget also the other dynamic is that like the guys that are getting like 1 billion minutes don't usually get 1 billion minutes, so they're gonna make all the most of these minutes.
Yeah, you're right.
Like there are some guys in this game that are going to get more shots in this game than like the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Maybe not exactly, but you know what I mean.
Oh my God.
This is the show out game for, I don't even remember the guy's name. Who's Jamal Cain?
He's a guy. He was undrafted also. He's a forward. They've got a lot of forwards, and there's no forward. There's no forwards.
Away
Caleb Martin's guard eligibility from this last game, so that makes things even more. You're just not going to see high owned forwards. It's just I can just tell you every projection that has any ownership on any forwards that aren't in Miami are probably mostly wrong. But you're just not going to see anybody owned. I don't think. You might see some Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum.
Okay, I guess if you wanted to be cute with this Miami thing, maybe you could, like I said, do somewhat less minutes for Jovic and Roberts.
I agree with that. I think those are the weirdest part is Jovic is the guy they're highest on. He's the most important to their team, but they also have made it very clear they want to bring him along slowly.
What I'm saying is maybe you don't have to play the two of them together like in all your
So I think
games.
I agree. Yeah. So like Jovic, I actually think though the pairing, like if you think it's going to be a blowout, would be Jovic, Robinson, Kane, and you'd leave Lowry out and then play one of the other guys, whether it be
Right.
Martin or Struss, up to you. This is just such a weird slate, man. I still can't believe this spread. What if? Well, I mean, is there anything we're missing here? Could they magically announce Tyler Hero is in? I don't know. I don't think they could.
No. I mean, they could.
That's.
Has anybody been upgraded to questionable in the
I haven't
last like
seen
couple of
anything.
minutes?
So all the seven most. That's it. It's you never see that. I mean, that every player from them as they're what they're 6 out of the top 7, 7 out of the top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy. Okay, so I'm gonna try and get my pairings right. My pairings will go like that with all the cheapos, the 3 cheap ones together with one of the guys. If I think it's gonna be a blowout, and they'll blowout lineups where I think it stays close, I have Lowry, and I'll downgrade Highsmith a little bit, and Robinson would be the one I downgrade first, and then Highsmith, I guess.
Yeah.
And I guess it doesn't matter in some ways who starts, but I actually would like Kane better if he starts. I know, like Highsmith is. I don't know. I don't even know how to analyze this. I think you're right. Just cram them in. It's not a good single entry night because it's hard to figure out the right ones.
Yep.
I think it's a multi-entry kind of a thing, and you're just gonna have to play around with them. And I am gonna leave in about 3 minutes. I like the idea with this Giannis Embiid thing, though. I think that gets low enough owned as a combination because Giannis eats up the power forward spot or the center, whatever. But you're already playing Embiid. So I think that's a good route to go to maybe. And it's funny to say because when we have all this value, usually the guy we want to get in is Giannis. And maybe there's something to Giannis has had some sort of down games for Giannis, but maybe there's something this is an important game. They're not exactly rivals, but they've played each other quite a bit. Maybe Giannis actually gets a little bump with Holiday coming back. It's possible. I mean, I'm just saying, like, and if I was playing 150, I wouldn't X out Drew Holiday either to pair with Embiid, even at a crazy high price tag. Because all he has to do is beat that 9K group ahead of him.
Right.
That's
what I'm going to do. I'm going to build like half of my lineups are going to have only one of Jovic and Robinson, I think.
Jovic and Robinson are the two you got the least on, lower than Highsmith and Kane?
Together, okay. What I'm saying.
Okay. Well, I'm going to get out of here and go build my stuff. I'll be in Discord if something comes up. I don't really know what else can come up exactly. I guess if somebody comes, if Alonzo Mourning were to come back on the court or something for Miami, you got to get one of those guys back. I don't know what they can do. Is Spoelstra what if Spoelstra? If Spoelstra suited up tonight, I genuinely would have some Spoelstra.
I would get some Spoelstra. Maybe they bring that Drew guy that's not on the team that's in the draft.
He's not on the team, but he's in the DraftKings lineup, so we're allowing him back to play for one game.
Yeah, something like that. That's the new NBA rule. That's part of the NBA deal with the gambling. I think.
This slate is a shit show.
What's the other guy? Robinson. What's the other center again?
Orlando Robinson.
Jovic. Right, Jovic. Sorry. Jovic. It's not Nikola Jokic.
Not only that, by the way, that 3 of the starters are going to be power forward only eligible. It's just, how do you play Giannis? That's why no one's going to. Because with Embiid, right. They won't play him. Because then how do you do it? Oh my God, that's crazy. All right. Well, I'm going to say good luck to everybody, Sheets. I'll leave you here if you want me to.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fine.
All right, man. Well, good luck. Have a nice weekend, and I'll see you Sunday morning.
No. As a matter of fact, leave it.
All right. Good luck, everybody.
So this is my attempt of being sneaky. So I'm I'm gonna just let my optimizers whether do their thing with my projections. But then what I think I'm gonna do is, like I said, I'm gonna be somewhat circumspect. Is that the word I'm looking for? With the lineups I have that have both Jovic and Robinson together. So we'll put how many lineups here? So we have 12 with, so we have 6 and then 6. 6 with just one, 6 with the other one. So then that's 12 plus we'll have 18 that have no rule like that. So that's useful. That's useful, actually. Okay. That's the one bit of VA, a value added I can give you, is that in addition to just using the projection, which I will update in a minute, you want to at least maybe make that rule to have max 1 of Orlando and Jovic together. But aside from that, I don't think there's anything funny that you want to do. I think the rest you just kind of let it roll. So what was this build here? This is with no. I don't need this or this. Okay, so let's take the top 12 then. No, I just want the top 3 here, actually. Actually, no, we're going to do. These, and then these. This is what I want to do. Hold on. I think this is what I want to do. And then okay, I do have to go because I want to update the projections for everybody. Because I have to fix a couple of things. So Lowry, Heim, Kane, that's one with Robinson, that's good. Jovic, that's good. Okay, that all makes sense. And we'll keep that, Oh, this is a dupe. So we'll upgrade Michael Porter Jr. instead of Ivy. That's probably pretty strong, actually. That's actually a pretty strong play. And then same thing here. This has 2 of the same. Should we pivot off of Highland here? You know what we can do? We could do one. We'll do a Giannis and a Curry together or something. All right, so I have to go because I have to update the projections. Good luck, everybody.